A man who law enforcement sources say is the stepfather of a 10-year-old boy found dead in a Manhattan home this weekend is charged with his murder. Now, earlier in the day, community activists and leaders came out to rally against domestic violence. New York 1's Ron Lee joins us tonight from the 32nd Precinct with details. Ron.
Hey there, Dean. Well, just a short while ago, we had a major development in this horrific case. Take a look at this video. You'll see 34-year-old Ryan Cato being walked out of the 32nd Precinct here in Harlem in handcuffs. Sources tell us Cato is the stepfather of 10-year-old Aiden Wolf, the young boy whose body was found unconscious in the Harlem home that he shared with Cato, located about 4 blocks away from this precinct. Cato answered no questions from the media. Believe me, I tried. And he's now facing charges that include murder and endangering the welfare of a child in connection with a brutal death that had many neighbors losing sleep.
It hurts. It hurts. The boy didn't make it to today. And today is a gift to everyone. You know, I don't care that he won't see Christmas. I don't care that he won't see his birthday. He didn't even get to say good morning.
This neighbor, named Destiny, says when she returned home to the St. Nicholas apartments in Harlem, she was approached by detectives who wanted to know if she had ever suspected abuse inside one apartment in particular that is on her floor. Destiny said she wasn't even aware that a child lived there.
I thought it was just a couple. I'd never heard noise, like anything alarming to come from there.
According to detectives, around 2:20 Saturday afternoon, officers responding to a 911 call about an assault discovered a 10-year-old boy unconscious in his living room. Police say his body had suffered severe trauma that included injuries, both old and new.
I got an hour and a half of sleep. It's weighing that much on my head.
As police investigate the circumstances behind the boy's death, Destiny's concerns echo the sentiments shared by many community activists who held a rally Sunday just steps away from this makeshift memorial to condemn family violence.
If you're not emotionally ready, if you're not mentally capable, or you're stressed a lot, just give your child away. It doesn't make you a bad person.
And while no relatives from the 10-year-old's family spoke at the rally, Stephanie McGraw, who runs the domestic violence advocacy group WARM, which stands for We All Really Matter, told me she was approached Sunday by the young boy's paternal aunt and a cousin.
They are destroyed. He was a loving, caring, sweet little kid. They did not see any kind of trauma with him. They were just with him 2 weeks ago, and they heard it on the news, and they drove down from Connecticut to see about their nephew.
Again, police have identified the 10-year-old victim as Aiden Wolf, and sources tell me his biological father lives in Connecticut. We're in Harlem. Ron Lee, New York 1. Dean.
Thank you, Ron. This is definitely a disturbing story, and a Manhattan community comes together to condemn family violence after a 10-year-old boy is found dead inside an apartment. And sources tell New York 1 2 family members are being questioned. New York 1's Ron Lee joined us tonight from the 32nd Precinct in Harlem with the details. Ron.
Dean, the NYPD says that 10-year-old boy who died had suffered severe trauma to his body, which included injuries that were both old and new. And while no one has been arrested so far, no charges have been filed, police say 2 family members were brought right here to the 32nd Precinct in Harlem for questioning. And what police can tell us is that around 2:20 yesterday afternoon, officers responded to a 911 call about an assault at the St. Nicholas houses on West 131st Street. When they arrived, officers noticed a 10-year-old boy who was unconscious and unresponsive in the living room. At this time, it is not clear if there had been any prior reports of abuse at that location. However, the Administration for Children's Services says the safety and well-being of New York City's children is their top priority, and the agency says it is investigating this case with the NYPD. Meantime, many community activists and politicians joined forces today outside the victim's apartment building to support families in crisis and to call for an end to domestic violence. While no one from the victim's family spoke at that rally, a domestic violence advocate and a community pastor both told me that they had prayed this afternoon with a cousin and aunt of the victim. While those relatives were too distraught to speak to the media, those who prayed with them say his family is devastated by the loss.
and they are destroyed. He was a loving, caring, sweet little kid. They did not see any kind of trauma with him. They were just with him 2 weeks ago, and they heard it on the news, and they drove down from Connecticut to see about their nephew.
The aunt was here. I mean, they just gravitated toward the pastor. They gravitated toward Stephanie McGraw. They just wanted to speak with us because we welcomed them with arms. We loved on them. We prayed for them. And they said, please, we want you to help us. We need this help. We had no idea this was even going on. How do you not know this is going on? How do we not know as a community this is going on?
And as you can see, a makeshift memorial filled with candles has been set up at the St. Nicholas houses to remember that young victim. Meantime, sources tell New York One the two family members who are being questioned include the little boy's mother, as well as a man who many consider to be that little boy's stepfather. We're told that the boy's biological father lives in Connecticut. We're in Harlem. Ron Lee, New York One. D.
Ron, thank you.